Well, it's been the biggest story of the week in rugby league, arguably of the year.
I love it.
And yes, Gus, you did feature prominently in it. First of all, I just want to get your reaction. You've spoken openly about this all week, we know that, but this is the first time you're speaking since Anthony Griffin had his say on Fox last night. He was very polite in his delivery, but he didn't miss.
Yeah, look, my first thoughts on that interview were that he shouldn't have done it, that he was badly advised to go and do it, and particularly in the environment in which he did it. And I don't think he's done himself any favours with that interview, given the reaction that I've had from our staff, former staff, staff that left our club because of Anthony, and people that have worked in and around our club before Anthony arrived and since he arrived. I think he was ill-advised. I think he should have taken a deep breath. The last thing I said to him on Monday when I left, I said, take this money and take a holiday, have a rest. And I think he just rushed into this too early. I think if he had his time over again, he might have thought his words a little bit better.
Now, it's obvious you didn't think it was a coach to take the team to a grand final. What was his major shortfall, do you think?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to sit here and judge Anthony Griffin for the world to see. I'm not going to reply or respond because he said negative things about me or the club, all right? I will defend our club in the respect that where Panthers sits today, where it was 7 years ago and where it sits today, is a product of the expertise and hard work of many, many people in our organisation. Many people who have been loyal, who have been hard-working and have gone beyond the norm to produce the results that we've got in development, in commercial, in our crowds, in our membership and the performance of our team and the development of our team, which has come through our pathways system. To try and either take credit for that or to denigrate it and say that it was a shambles before he's arrived is highly disrespectful, and it's just totally wrong. Now I want to defend our staff because they're great people and they've been completely loyal. And as you've seen there when they're interviewed, whether it was one of the board members, one of the players, one of the officials or one of the coaches, they all held the fast line and they all supported him. And I've got to be honest, they all protected him because they know that's what I wanted.
Now, Gus, I know you said you don't want to sit here and respond to every single thing that he's said, but I feel like...
So you're going to say what he said?
Pretty much. I feel like I need to. I mean, we're going to get smashed either way, let's be honest here. But I feel like I need to just put a few of them to you, and I will do it very quickly. The main thing that hurts me the most is that I think they're on the verge of winning a premiership this year, which is probably one of the reasons I'm not there.
Well, they wouldn't have won a premiership the way he was coaching them, no.
OK. When asked did he... You agree with that?
Yeah, you couldn't keep giving those leads away, and they've done it consistently the whole season. I think they're a fantastic team.
I think all that's doing is saying that I've got them this far. If they stuff it up from here, it's their fault, not mine. He's got us nowhere near a premiership at the moment. OK. When asked did he think his contribution had been overshadowed, Griffin said, "Oh, I suppose so. Phil has played his part, but from the time I'd met him from 2012 to 2017, if he'd been at work, it hadn't been productive work in developing a club with a huge junior base." Ouch. Yeah. Oh, that's disrespectful in the highest.
What was that? Can you say it again? I didn't understand that.
He's basically saying...
It said that I've been sitting on my arse and done nothing for 7 years out of Penrith. That's what it says.
What would your take be on
Well, he
that?
might have got his words mixed up. I think.
Well, that's Anthony's problem, and I don't think he should have rushed into this interview. I think he should have thought his words out carefully, and then responded at a later time when he cooled down and he was obviously wasn't as emotional or as disappointed as he was. And I can understand him being disappointed. It was a very hard conversation to have. And he's not the easiest bloke to talk to at the best of times, particularly if you have to debate him about something. But I just think he rushed into that interview in the wrong forum at the wrong time, and I don't think it's done him any favours.
Where are we as a club, though, Gus, heading into the finals now without a recognised first-grade coach?
Well, we're sitting in the top 5. We've got 4 games to go. We would like to make improvement every week. Our form of recent times hasn't been anywhere near our best. It's been probably covered up by a couple of late rallies that have got us, some high-scoring wins. There needs to be an improvement, but I'm confident in the academy staff that they'll give these players the best preparation possible. I think it cuts for them the confusion as to where they're getting their messages about their football, and hopefully that settles them down and the rest of the club down. From what I've seen this week, they've had a productive week leading into the Gold Coast game. It won't be easy. They're on the road. But I'm looking for improvement every week as they play between now and the finals.
How hands-on will you be now? I know Cameron Ciraldo is the temporary coach. What will your role be?
I'll always be there for them. I wouldn't throw them under a bus, these boys. I mean, it's a difficult task for Cameron and Peter Wallace. I have utmost respect and confidence in Cameron Ciraldo. And he's been a wonderful ally for Anthony Griffin. He has assisted that man loyally and without question.
Will you do any field stuff? Will you get on the field?
I'm not finished.
All right.
He did come to me and resign twice for the way he was treated by the head coach.
Ciraldo did.
Ciraldo twice.
And why did he stay?
And twice I talked him into staying.
Can you elaborate on the reasons?
No,
for...
I'll just put that out there so everyone
Okay.
knows there's very much two sides to this story.
And just one other thing quickly, we're not going to go back to the Griffin interview in detail, but he did say that he hadn't lost the players at all. What's your response to that? Do you stand by that?
Well, I don't want to put the players in either. I think it got to the point where the players, I interviewed them after the, personally myself, as a group after the debacle up in Brisbane, where the coach had taken them on a 3-day camp to the Gold Coast, had completely cut out all assistant staff, management, wanted to run the whole thing himself, his way, and they were beaten 50 points to 18. And the players came back very confused because when things were going good, Cameron Ciraldo was doing a lot of the information, a lot of the work. Peter Wallace had joined him in that time and was doing a lot of the work. They were completely cut out of the equation over the last 5 or 6 weeks. And the players were sort of confused. We're not being prepared well enough. They weren't disrespectful to the coach. It's not as though they lost the coach, but they just didn't know why he had gone back on what was working earlier in the season. And that's where they got confused. So we just tried to do the best we could through then. At that time, after that Brisbane review again for the second time, the senior management said, this is untenable, he's got to go. And again, I stuck up for him and said, leave it to me, I will manage this situation, we'll get through to the end of the year. And that was almost my intention. What happened this week was the Cleary thing. And I thought, well, we have to tell him that he's not going to be here next year. If you've made your decision, that's what we have to do. Wasn't the way I would have handled it, but that's what's happened this week.
Are people being unfair in the criticism that you're copping, do you think?
I don't care about that. I understand the West Tigers being upset. I can understand their fans. I can understand the vitriol. I can understand people forming their opinion on the media and the way it's translated, because there are people you know in the media that have an agenda against me, that have an agenda against the club, by the fact that I work at Panthers or the fact that I work at Channel 9, and that is the forum that he walked straight into to get his point across or whatever it is he wanted to do and vent his anger. I've lived with that for a lot of my career, so it's water off a duck's back. But it's not fair when it's aimed at the club and trying to destabilise the club, and particularly when it's disrespectful for the staff out there that have been extremely loyal to him, that have protected him and have stood up for him in this whole period. There are plenty of people in our club who worked with Anthony and loved Anthony and wanted to do well for him, but I don't think that was respected in return.
It was reported a lot through the year, Gus, that you two guys had a bit of a riff. You didn't see eye to eye. Why did you, when those reports, became public, why did you deny a lot of those rumours?
To show respect to the coach, to protect him, absolutely. A lot of my disagreements with Anthony was because I had to try and convince him we're trying to help him, not trying to hurt him. And he felt that he was being undermined, which was the opposite of what we were trying to do. We were trying to help him. He had deficiencies, being brutally honest. He had deficiencies, and as a club we were trying to work through him. I run the club. I made some big decisions about Anthony Griffin. I employed him in the first place. I extended his contract. We've protected him in the media. We've stood up for him in the media. We've tried to help him in a football sense right across the board, to help his style of coaching and to help him through. And I had full intention of him seeing out his contract, even though our own management had done reviews and said, this is untenable, he's got to go. And that's why he has embarrassed himself in this interview that he's done out of emotion and distaste at being suddenly sacked on Monday. And I get it. I understand someone being emotional about that, and I understand it. And I'm willing to forgive him for it. I really am. I can look past that and say, look, that's just him letting off steam. But he's hurt a lot of people with that interview. And he's embarrassed himself in front of the people that know the truth. So I'm not going to stand back and have our club and our people denigrated like that. I will speak on their behalf. Him and me, I'll sort that out at another time.